All right, welcome everyone. This is Brock Yolga, co-founder of Forceget Supply Chain and Logistics and VP of Sales. Today, I'm with Jay Lagarde. Jay, is correct to say your last name?
Perfect. Yep.
All right, perfect. How are you doing
Great,
today?
great to be here. Yep.
Yes, guys, I'm with Jay. He's the founder of Ecom Engine. He's one of the first people. I think he was telling me the story a little bit behind before we start connecting. He was actually doing Amazon business before FBA. Jay, I feel things have changed a lot.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Amazon was a small thing, and eBay was bigger at the time when I started, and the market is just incredible. And right now, and it's always evolving, which frankly is one of the challenges that our customers, our sellers have, is that it changes so fast. What worked yesterday doesn't necessarily work perfectly tomorrow as much as you'd like it to.
Absolutely. And then also, it's, I think, like a lot of people, they talk about the supply chain, Foursquare is the supply chain company. But how much Amazon has accomplished in 2 decades, setting up all the fulfillment centers, all the systems in the back end. They like to keep adding more fees, obviously, which is a big problem for the sellers. But they have done a lot. They're trying to catch up Walmart. Obviously, Walmart is a big player in the market right now. But TikTok and other marketplaces, they even want to leverage Amazon's logistics, like Shane. And Amazon now is okay with MCF, like multi-channel fulfillment. How do you see when it comes to Amazon's growth? And a lot of companies, they want to go to other channels now, omni-channel and retails. Do you feel it's a good idea to just to stick to Amazon or looking for alternatives?
Well, I think the answer is obvious. You need to go where you need to have some diversification, and every business is different. And so all of our customers are always looking for diversification. The question is, how much time do you spend on these other platforms relative to the time that you have? Is your incremental effort on Amazon going to produce more revenue for you than working on a new channel? And then you have to, it's a business judgment. You have to decide, is this worth spending time on? And some of it is the ROI may not be immediate. The ROI may be long-term, risk reduction. Setting up a Shopify store, for example, is not, doesn't happen in a day, and you may not get sales, the amount you want right away, but it could set you up for long-term diversification, which any business owner realizes they need to have that. That's just responsible.
Yeah, because one morning you can wake up and then Amazon takes your listing down, and now you don't even know what happens, or they shut down your store because someone complained about your store. Maybe they put fake reviews, like Black Hack tactics. Your competitors brings lots of 1-star. Amazon, like that's, I think it's a lot of like love and hate relationship for Amazon. Amazon has one of the largest, it could be probably the largest organic traffic in the world, and people come to Amazon with intention to buy. That's why most of the brands cannot avoid actually how powerful is Amazon. You need to list the product. The CPCs keep going up. Probably it's like tripled since COVID, cost per click. But I agree. If you have a Shopify brand business, maybe you start slow, but you build up. If you have the community, you bring outside traffic. I think it's smart. But more importantly, when you launch a new product, it's not going to be like Amazon. You have a database, people in your existing customers that they might be buying the similar products. So that's why actually I like kind of for brands to go both. But one thing that we are aware compared to 2-3 years ago, there are less and less people registered to sell on Amazon. I think it's because of the fees. What do you feel in the Ecom Engine and then in your data, how people try to stay profitable? What is the biggest pain point to start selling on Amazon, or if you're an existing seller on Amazon, like what makes it difficult today?
Well, I think you've highlighted on some really important things, and one of them is the unknown can creep up on you very quickly. So the big thing that all Amazon sellers kind of are in constant vigilance over is, am I going to get taken down tomorrow? And a lot of times it's not because of anything you've done, but because it's something that it looks like you've done. And then defending yourself and getting back online. And that's really an existential threat for all Amazon sellers, unfortunately. because you've got payroll to make, and you've got your staff and yourself to support, and if those payments aren't coming in, it can be devastating for a business, as we all know. So,
Yeah.
so that's a big thing. Another aspect, and your point is that there are fewer small sellers coming into the market. The market is more competitive. It's tougher. Getting those quick wins are still very much possible. There's a lot of eyeballs coming to Amazon, but getting those quick wins, getting something launched, producing real revenue is it's work, and it's challenging, and it's not guaranteed. And so I think that's part of it. Another part of it, and something that we've been focusing on, because we like to encourage our users, whether they're smaller and just getting started or whether they've been around for a while, is that we try to remind them is that, think about building a long-term company. Think about building a company long term, and that's really important, because being smart and clever will and making some quick moves will certainly get you in the door on Amazon and can show you the power of Amazon, but it won't necessarily and almost certainly won't preserve you for the long term. And preserving for the long term means being strategic and being operationally strategic, and realizing that you need to have a way to, delegate a lot of the day-to-day process things and monitoring that has to be done. It has to be done if you let your eye off the ball on your profitability and the things that are happening with respect to every SKU. It can creep up on you, and then all of a sudden you have lost profitability.
Yeah.
So it has to be monitored. It has to be addressed in a very systematic way. And ultimately, if you're a business owner, and you may only have a few people you're working with initially, you need to be able to hand off things to somebody else, because you're the business owner is the one that's driving the creativity, that's driving the new ideas, that's driving the new product ideas, and things like that. And in order to be able to do that effectively, you need to be able to operationalize other aspects of your business. So as soon as you have something working and making money, you have to be able to let go of that, but not let go of it because you don't care, because you think it's automatically going to keep working. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But you do need to have monitoring, and you need to have a process in place that you're looking at things on a systematic basis, let's say every week, and determining what's working well and what's not, and being able to hand that over and put it into a process is really critical to being able to scale an Amazon business and being able to sustain it over the long run.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like interesting time, especially in my opinion. It's very hard for sellers to understand Amazon fees. It gets really complicated, and you don't really know. I see that you know the feeling of that pain, especially so many things with the logistical decision. Like Amazon is really keep pushing people on their dashboard to start using AGL, then AWD, and then obviously you have no control over the transit times. Long transit times means longer cash flow. You need stronger cash flow. Money is expensive to borrow. Then, if you use AWD, transferring the goods to FBA takes 4 weeks to 6 weeks time. It means that inventory is not sellable. The goods go to Amazon FBA. Now, even larger problems. The checking times are very long, or Amazon is pushing you to use their services. If not, you can do your own planning, but then they charge a very high placement fee. Obviously, we all question how fair these are, but what do you see some of the options people are looking outside of Amazon? Because we know that anytime Amazon comes out with according to their announcements, brilliant new program or exciting program, we know that the reality, the execution is not as good as the planning. So what do you see people are trying to do to stay profitable 2026 within Amazon?
Yeah, well, I think, the area that you're in terms of logistics is a very key driver of operational excellence and determining whether you're making money or not. And you're correct. I mean, AWD is very powerful in theory. It works good because it's set and forget. Amazon takes care of it. But if your items aren't getting into Amazon and it's December 1 or the end of November and they're not getting scheduled, then you're losing an opportunity, and it would be better for you to ship those things directly into the Amazon warehouse yourself. And so, the answer is, and it's not a very satisfying answer, is yes, people are looking at options. And of course, self-fulfillment, fulfillment by the merchant has to be an option as a standby, as a backup.
Yeah.
It can be, again, it's a judgment. If it's a very important SKU to you and there's a possibility that you may go out of stock, having a backup that you can fulfill yourself is just good business practice, and really necessary. Not necessarily for every SKU, but for certain SKUs, it may be worth having that as a backup. And a lot of
especially if the products are larger. Sorry to interrupt, but especially if the product is a little bit larger than the standard size.
Absolutely.
The fees are very high.
And sometimes there's a desire and a need on the part of the seller to manage the customer support, customer service in a way that FBA is just not set up to do. A more complicated product, the customer support, you don't want to have too much return logistics. You want to be able to intercept those, and that can be done with merchant fulfilled. And you're right, for very large products, you've got much larger storage fees, much larger fulfillment fees, and that is something that has to be calculated and looked at on a case-by-case basis. And to your point, Barak, there is not a one-size-fits-all. Every SKU is different. Every seller is different. Yeah. And here's the tough thing is that the fees change. Yeah. And so what may have worked last year, there can be subtle changes in fees, and it may not work in the coming years. So being positioned to be flexible is really critical. And there's no place that you need to be more flexible than in your supply chain. It's critical. If you don't get that right, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah, 5 years ago, you would have sent the products to Amazon FBA, and then you probably use a great hat tactic at the cart, and Amazon thinks that you get like good traffic and then relevancy, so it will even rank you. That doesn't happen anymore. But I think you're right. I mean, definitely need to have like a plan B, C, D options, and then always test different things and see I think one thing, the most important thing if you're an Amazon seller, and if you don't have an inventory specialist in your team, then you will lose it, because as a CEO owner, let's say you do $3 to $5 million or up to $10 million. I see so many companies, they have small teams, some VAs, but then they have a logistic team, but they don't have an inventory specialist that understand the landing costs, understand the profit, understands the transit times, but more importantly, how long it really takes. What's the life cycle of a product? From the time you submit the purchase order, if you buy from China, it takes 45 days to manufacture, 35 to 45 days delivery, checking times another 45 days. Until you sell it, it's almost 150 to 180 days. It's a very long life cycle. Compared to 5 years ago, it would have been like 90 to 100 days. A lot of brands, they don't understand, and their inventory sits on AWD without making any sales in the omni-channel. So that's why I think having a 3PL partner is the number one priority. Plus, if something goes wrong with your product on Amazon FBA, you're right, you can turn on FBA. A lot of people now, they're talking about Seller Fulfilled Prime. They're trying to get the badge. You can use that inventory sitting in the 3PL for omni-channel fulfillment. So we talk a lot about FBA, but what do you see at other marketplace? Of course, depends on the product and seller, but where do people trying to expand? Like some people do TikTok shop. Even if you don't do TikTok shop, you do TikTok, so it brings traffic to Amazon FBA. What do you see the trend sellers are testing the first thing after FBA?
Well, obviously TikTok is a big one right now. Whether that's a long term or not, remains to be seen. And what's fascinating is that Amazon is accepting that, and they also are trying to be part of the equation because they're promoting fulfillment by Amazon, multi-channel fulfillment by Amazon on TikTok shop sales. And so that's part of the play. Obviously, Walmart is a real factor, and they want to be a real player. And Shopify, of course, is another big factor because there, you own your platform much more, you own your brand more. So, if your goal is to build a long-term brand, increasingly, having something like Shopify is a no-brainer. Even if you're not producing a lot of sales for it, it's a place you can own your brand and control it a little more closely. And then, of course, a lot of brands, they aspire to, become the anchors of the world and start selling to Walmart and
And
other
I
big.
think if you want to exit the business one day, your business is more valuable if you've been selling in 4 or 5 different channels versus one channel, right?
If it's set up, there's no question about it. And to your point, and I'm, touting your product because having that relationship with a company like yours that has the sophistication, that has the knowledge, and that has the flexibility to adjust to different emerging trends in the Amazon space is a powerful partnership for a seller to have. And that offers enhanced enterprise value to a company to have that.
Jay, what do you guys focus on e-com engine recently? What do you focus on this year? What features? What is the biggest pain point according to your experience when it comes to Amazon sellers?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I mean, our core DNA early on was reputation management. We were all about feedback and product review management, and we've really been at the forefront of that for 15 years or more, maintaining compliance with Amazon rules. We also have a restocking tool, which does purchase orders, monitors your, FBA restocking, looks at your inventory, and keeps yourself in stock so that, you've got the right amount of inventory, not too little, not too much. You don't want to tie up data. It looks at your lead times and estimates how much you need to order based on your lead times. So that's been an important thing that we've offered to our customers. And then lately we're blending this together. We have a tool called Seller Pulse, and it's designed to help you operationalize your business. So it starts with the end in mind, which is profitability, and looking at profitability at a SKU level. It looks across your whole supply chain. It looks as every SKU is its own profit engine, and we're monitoring each profit engine, and we're providing reports, and we're benchmarking how each SKU is performing relative to the benchmark. And it can identify trends within your portfolio of SKUs that are going up, that are going down. And it also provides, very actionable reporting. It is not a tool that is a highly complex analytics tool to go do interesting, complex analytics discovery. It's a business reporting and business operations tool to help you operationalize your business. And so in a tool like ours, if something is not right with your profitability metrics, with your core finance metrics on a SKU, it's going to point you back to things either on your Amazon sales channel. Is something going wrong with your traffic? Is something going wrong with your returns? Is something going wrong with your fees? It's going to identify that very clearly for you. Or maybe there's something, going on, it could point back to your deeper supply chain, your cost structures and things about what's going on. And so
it's very hard to read. It's very hard to read Amazon reports. They have all over the place. The data is not combined. It's very distracted, in my opinion.
It is. And, admittedly, Amazon has done a lot to work on their reports, but there's still a signal to noise ratio issue. There's a lot of noise, and it's important for sellers to realize what's important for them. It's profitability. It's long-term profitability. And we're all about bringing that to the forefront. Profit has to come first. It's not just sales. It's profit.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jay. I mean, this is like something I've been talking about. If you remember 3-4 years ago, all those aggregators were in the events. They're like, hey, we are 9-figure, we are 10-figure brands and we buy them. Okay, but what's your profit, dude? Like, you don't make money. What is the show off for? So thanks for that detail. So guys, I want to briefly summarize also what Forescat works on. We work on instant quotation tools, so you guys can get door-to-door international shipping quotation from China to all Amazon fulfillment centers in the world in seconds and book it. We are working on omnichannel fulfillment. We have 5 warehouses, New Jersey, California. So we help with seller prime batch, which is very important. Global expansion. We are Canada, Australia, Amazon partner for global expansion. Amazon's reimbursements is a big thing, especially manufacturing costs. So many people are entering wrong. And more importantly, we launch our first SaaS tool, which is called Profit Plus, to show you what is your Amazon checking times, how to optimize your shipping time, and how much you pay for the placement fees. What is the alternative to cut the fees? Jay, thank you so much for joining me today. I think we can talk forever about the Amazon, how to increase profit, how to reduce the operation costs, what data is very important. I think I will have to have you again, man.
Thank you. Great talking. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Please don't hesitate to connect with me and Jay through LinkedIn if you guys have any question. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Parag. Have a good day.
Bye.